Welcome back. With fewer than 50 days before the Olympic torch is set to be lit in Rio, the state's governor has declared a financial state of emergency. Nick Paton-Walsh is in Rio. Nick, financial disaster is how it's been described by Rio's acting governor. It sounds pretty dire.
Well, it is a remarkable statement to hear from the governor of this state here, just as you say, 50 days ahead of the games themselves. But I think many are seeing this as more focusing towards what is happening with public services here in Rio. A lot of money has been spent on the games, the infrastructure. Yes, some of that may be ready in time. There are concerns that the major extension for the subway to come from the beaches here to the game parks themselves to get tourists to the games, to get visitors to the games, may not be ready in time. It's supposed to be ready just 4 days ahead, and that adds the general concern, I think, about last-minute preparations here. But it's more, I think, the fact that money has been had to spend on the Olympics that perhaps has led to other parts of public services here not being funded in the way that they should. There are many reports of hospitals in crisis, universities seeing substantial strikes happening there, the police force from complaining of an absence of funding here too. So this remarkable statement from the government declare, quote, a financial calamity is, I think some believe, perhaps using the Olympics as a form of leverage, maybe to get more money out of the federal government here to solve the severe crisis we're seeing. Remember, Brazil's economy is contracted by 5.4% recently. It's in severe crisis, and so adding to that, the fact they've had to fund the Olympic Games as well has really, I think, drained a lot of resources here. And this remarkable statement, it came in the form of an announcement published on the front page of one of their main publications here, causing, I think, many deep concerns simply because of the sheer limited amount of time before the games themselves begin and the volume of problems, Linda, that the games are already subject to.
Given the fact that there is such a deep recession there and the acting governor wants $900 million from the federal government, do you think that's likely to be handed over, that amount of money?
Well, it really depends, I think, exactly what it may do to the impact of the games themselves and also the climate in which they occur here. Remember, we're talking about a city here which says, its mayor says, its state of finances are relatively comfortable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the whole state itself is doing well. People, when they come to the games, will want to be sure that they feel safe, will want to be sure that the hostels, perhaps if they have to use them, are functioning. That isn't necessarily something Rio feels comfortable about guaranteeing just yet because of that issue with public finances. 900 million, a huge figure and one that Brazil can't easily find quickly, but they've had to find a lot of money to ensure the Olympics themselves roll ahead smoothly. We may be looking here at brinkmanship perhaps while the government itself is in extraordinarily tense and challenged times. Perhaps the Olympics is a way for the public finances here in Rio deeply struggling and causing many people's ordinary lives to be massively compromised. Perhaps local officials here are using the Olympics as some way to try and get a little bit more for public coffers here to make life to some degree easier for ordinary Brazilians here. Linda?
We'll have to see if they get that money. Nick Paton-Walsh, great to have you with us. Thank you.